Hey everyone! Well, if you watched my last video of my interview before I was getting onto the Colorado Trail, you'll notice that I'm back. I do a lot of reflecting and journaling, and I'm going to be reading to you guys here from my journal and what my reflections are. If you don't know me, I'll introduce myself a little bit. I am blessed to be a Christian, a daughter, and a sister and a friend. I've been a school teacher for 30 years, and I'm a mom to two amazing grown children and their significant others. I love my wonderful life, and that includes all the hard parts, the past and the present. So I've only been backpacking, as I had said before, for 3 years, and I'm still very new to this world of backpacking. The longest trip I've been on is 5 days, and it was a challenging climb under, over, and around down trees. The scariest part for me on that trip was me post-holing up to my waist, trying to unsuccessfully cross over a snow-covered rock field. After that trip, I was proud of my strength and my endurance for making it through that. And after doing some backpack trips for the last few summers, I started wondering what it would be like to do a long distance thru hike. And I was just wondering if I really could do that. So I decided to give it a try. And I chose the Colorado Trail, which is 485 miles. And I've been planning for that trip for 2 years. I've been dreaming about it, and I've just been so excited to get started on that trail. And I was looking forward to sharing that long journey with my friends and family and other people on YouTube. So I set out on that journey this last week, and I completed segment one, and in my interview I had stated that my biggest fear was bears and dealing with the whole food situation and bears. You know, in my hiking in the area where I'd go for my short trips, I just used a regular food bag, and I would hang that in the tree, and I never had any trouble. The worst that I dealt with was little critters, little chipmunks or mice trying to get into my stuff. So, I was just going into this trip really worried about, what I was going to do with my food bag. I know I can hang it, but once I got into an area where there were no trees, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. So, I researched a lot and know that people use the sack and some people use the bear cans. So I finally decided on using the sack. So I did get that when I arrived here in Denver, and I had that all packed up and ready. But, I just get to second guessing myself, and then I get to reading and listening to people on Facebook and YouTube. And so then I thought, well, what will I do if that, I was just worried about what I would do if that didn't work. What would you do if when you were on the trail and that wasn't working? So I didn't want to be in that situation. So I went the night before I was getting ready to head out, and I bought a bear can. So I loaded that thing up in my backpack, and then I started off with that. And as I'm walking that trail, that bear can, that's heavy. It's heavier than my regular food sack or even the sack. So while you're walking, you have all the time in the world to think about how you can unload that backpack and get rid of some stuff to lighten it up. I think that's always on my mind, trying to get my pack lighter. But I walked along, and then I thought, I met some people, talked to some people, asked what they were using, and they were all using an sack, or they were just using their regular food bag, not anyone that I talked to. I'm not saying there's not anybody there that wasn't going to be using a bear can, but the people just in that one day that I talked to, they were just going to be using their Ursac. So I thought, okay, I think I'm going to just have my son-in-law bring me my Ursac, and I'll just trade that out. So that was my plan, what I had planned to do. So with that taken care of, I had that figured out. As I was hiking, my next feat was finding water, and so I found my water, filled up the water, because I knew for the rest of that segment there wasn't going to be any opportunity for water. So at that time, the big worry of my food and my bear can moved down to the lowest point of worrying, and then I started worrying about, what am I going to do if I run out of water, and I was thinking I'm going to have to ration my water. So now I had that new thing to worry about. But I did end the segment that day with like a few swallows of water. I think a lot of it is probably mental. You're walking along and you think, I can't have a drink, or I really need a drink, because you need to ration this water to last you for the whole day. And I think sometimes if I don't get to have something right when I want it, that just really works on my mind, I guess. But I did make it to the end of that segment with a few swallows of water, and of course I drank that right up. And then I was able to get water. But I don't know, that just kind of took its toll on me, on thinking, what am I going to do for the next segment? Because that segment is you walk 10 miles before you get water. So I knew I was going to have to try to carry more water with me. And I don't know, just at the end of the day, you're tired. And that's probably, that just really messed with my mind too, is what was I going to do for the next day. But I have always heard, if you're feeling like that, you need to have a break, just eat, go to sleep, and think about that in the morning. So that's what I did, and I did feel better when I woke up. And my plan is I was just going to wait for my daughter and son-in-law to come pick up my bear can, trade out some stuff. I was going to send some other stuff home, and then I would just stay there that night so I could get up early the next day and tackle segment 2. But the more I thought about it that morning, I really worked myself up, and I didn't think I was going to make it on just what water I was going to be able to carry for 10 miles. I didn't think I could do that. And I decided then that maybe I just wasn't a long distance through hiker. Maybe I was just more suited for, short trips, and trips where I can just get water at any time I want, because that's what I have been used to on the short trips that I've taken. I walk along water. I always have water. I've never had to ration my water and think about that. So I just decided that I was going to get off trail, that I was just going to call it quits. It wasn't because it was too hard. There was inclines, and those would get you winded, but I felt like I handled that okay. I wasn't injured, it wasn't hurt, but I just mentally, I just couldn't quit thinking about going without water when I wanted it. And I don't know, it just really did a number on me that morning thinking about that. So I decided just to get off trail, and that I would just go home and start doing just my shorter hikes, that maybe that through hiking life isn't for me. So that's what I have decided, and I'm going to be happy with my decision. I'm going to get happy with that decision. I am disappointed in myself. I will admit that. I don't feel like I'm a quitter, but I also, on the other hand, I'm irritated at my own self for quitting, for thinking that that's what I'm going to do. So I just wanted to share that, because a lot of times you watch things, everything just seems wonderful and great, and that there's never anything hard that people who are hiking that they have to deal with, but they do. And there's things that scare you and that worry you that maybe don't worry other people. And I definitely didn't go into that journey, unaware. I mean, I know that that's something that you're not always going to have water. I've read the data book, I've been on Facebook, the pages with people talking about the Colorado Trail. So it's not like I'm unaware, but I just don't know if that's for me. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Yeah, hope you guys all have a great day. Talk to you later.